If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Why make choices in your life based on judgments instead of on your awareness of what would create the life and living you desire? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. We have an amazing show packed full of, I'm sure, laughter and possibilities and maybe a few tangled webs. I don't know, but I've got Cory Michelle and Katherine McIntosh tonight, and we're going to be doing Magic with Money, Untangling the Lies. I am super excited. These women are potent. They are rocking it all over the internet, all over the world, and how blessed are we to have them here tonight to start untangling even more lies. So before we get into the show, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a possibilities coach, and I work with individuals and organizations to co-create the living and loving that they desire with all the possibilities available in the universe. I'm an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, bars facilitator, energy worker, radio show host, producer, website builder, and so much more. I love to be different. Are you willing to be different to create the life that you desire? My programs assist you in bringing more possibilities to actualization. Connect with me to learn more. I do charge for my services, but the first 5 minutes are always free. You can connect with me at inspiredchoices.ca. So tonight, have you always desired to have magic with money, but instead choose the lies with money? What if you already are magic with money? Would you be willing to untangle all the lies of this reality around money and really step into the magic you be with money? Cory Michelle and Katherine McIntosh are going to bring their magic with them tonight, and we are going to start to unlock tons of these lies. So Cory Michelle has an elegance with energy and space. Her intuitive sense drives into the depth of an issue to unlock it in seemingly non-related places that result in total life change. She is playful. True. She is fun. True. She is, of course, juicy. Well, I'm going to say yes to that. She breaks the rules of your traditional business coach and helps you achieve the life you came to live, juice and all. Some say it's her magic, but really, Cory Michelle's potency ignites your own magic in business, leadership, money, and relationship quickly. She is a facilitator with a dynamic body of work of Access Consciousness and a seasoned entrepreneur, speaker, trainer, and author. Cory plays with the space and energy to assist people in creating the life they came to live. Wow, how lucky are we to have Cory Michelle here. And Katherine McIntosh is a business wizard and body magician. I love that. She is a master of diving into the secret spaces of your life so that you can take you, your body, your life, your business to the next level of play and magic. Katherine has traveled the world and worked with coaches, musicians, actors, and business owners making a difference on the planet. With a tenacious entrepreneurial spirit, Katherine has built multiple businesses from the ground up to amazing success in a short amount of time. Creator of the No Judgment Diet, a 30-day program designed to get you out of judgment so you can have space to create your life, Katherine is on a mission to change the way people see themselves, their bodies, food, their relationships, and their creative capacities. She is also an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, a motivational speaker, a mother, a best-selling author, and who desires to show everyone if you have a dream, then you have all the details inside of you to bring that dream to fruition. Wow. Ladies, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so thrilled to have you both here. And we got to start talking fast because I just know this time is going to fly. Oh, I think that was Cory. So, Katherine, why don't you say hello to all of our listeners out there?
Yeah, just thank you so much for having us, and I'm so grateful. And, you know, Cory and I love talking about money. We love talking about anything that lights people up, so thanks for having us.
I am thrilled. And Cory?
Yeah, ditto. And I just wonder, Christine and Katherine, how much fun can we have today? in the next hour.
None at all. We're talking about money. We can't have any fun. No, it's supposed to be serious.
Well, is that one of the lies? Is that the first lie we were going to bust?
Exactly.
So, ladies, when you think of the lies of this reality, I mean, you both have been working with people all around the world. I know one-on-one. I'm involved in your money class right now, which is friggin' phenomenal. And if you guys are not in it and you're listening to me, I'm telling you, you want to change your reality, get into this group fast. These women know what the hell they're doing. But you, too, have been creating or unlocking the lies around money with so many people and businesses. What would you say that, like, the top 5 lies that people buy into are?
There's only 5?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that we could do more than 5 right now, Cory.
That's so cute. Well, the first one that pops into my head is that money is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And that you have to work hard to have it.
Right. And you have an amazing story. I mean, the both of you have talked, even to me personally, about being time poor. Can you touch on that with our listeners?
Yeah, you want to go for that one, Katherine?
Sure. I mean, I grew up with a mom who was a brilliant creator, and yet she worked probably 100 hours a week. So as a kid, not a wrongness, I grew up with, basically doing everything by myself, for better lack of a word. And it wasn't an issue until I remember a parent who didn't work came up to me and said, I feel so bad for you. Your mom's never here to support your magic. Like, she was never at my soccer game. She was never I was like, oh, that's supposed to be wrong. Mm-hmm. Right? And so many people that go to create money end up being time poor, so they have all this money in the bank, or they have several homes, or they have these things. But the biggest thing that Cory and I both see with really successful business owners, and we're changing that, right, is that here they've created this magic, but they don't have the time to enjoy it.
Right. So what's one of the tools that you begin to work with individuals on around it being money is hard, or you have to work hard to earn the money you desire?
I mean, for me personally, I would say that just once you acknowledge that it's a lie, once you go, oh, well, is that actually true for me? Like, that's the first step, and the simplest step, right? Like, we like to make things complicated. We want to make it serious. There's got to be a secret formula to making millions and having time to enjoy it all. Right? So I want the serious download. And it's like the minute we get serious, money's like, oh, I think we'll go find someone who's more fun to play with.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Cory.
Yeah, I ditto all of that. And I just wanted to say one more thing about being, time poor is like what I started looking at was, or what I was very aware of, because I was working, 60, 70, 80 hours a week for $7.14 an hour is what I calculated it to in my last business, right? So time poor and money poor, I was poor everywhere. I didn't even know how poor I was. And when I started actually being willing to acknowledge what was showing up in my life and what was creating it, then I was able to go, wait a second, if I keep choosing this, I am going to get the same life.
Right.
And it's me that's choosing it. Nobody else is doing it to me. I created my own business, right? And this goes for jobs. You're choosing your job. You're choosing your husband. You're choosing all of it. And if you keep choosing the same thing, what will your life be like in 5 years? And that's what I was looking at. Like, okay, got to change something, because I was in my early 30s when I realized this, and I looked at if I'm 80 years old and I have to struggle for the next 50 years with money, I don't want to do that. I don't want to struggle for another 80 years or 50 years. Heck, maybe I'll live another 80. But that's not the life I wanted to live. And it's funny because I saw a little interview with Lisa Nichols, who's a author and a coach, an inspirational coach and stuff. She's like, a lot of people have to hit rock bottom.
Right.
You have to hit your lowest point before you make a change. Now, I don't necessarily know that I ever hit like the lowest point that was possible for me. I just hit a point where I was like, wait a second, I don't want to do that anymore. So I didn't create, a disease in my body, and I didn't create, living homeless on the streets or anything like that. But I got to the place where it was enough. Enough was enough. And was like, wait a second, why can't I have something different now? And what would it take to have that? So that acknowledgement of what you're choosing isn't going to work for your future. And choose differently.
Right. Well, as I said earlier, I'm in your class, and I was very happy that I was able to have a half an hour one-on-one with the two of you brilliant beings. And we touched on this very subject because, I was raised with a very hard-working father who, worked, he had his own business and he worked around the clock. And I really, that was the language of work that I learned. And I was doing that. I was working around the clock. And Cory, I mean, you both said so many things to me, but the one thing that stood out is that you said to me, if you were to start living the life you desire now, and even just a little bit at a time. I think that was the big thing for me, Cory, that you said that unlocked it for me because, yeah, I would like to have all of these things that I've been thinking about, a massage every week, a trip every month. And you said to me, and it was just so kind the way that you said it, what if you just chose, a little bit of one of those things to begin? And that for me was huge. And I've been doing that ever since you said that. And the other piece, and that was only, I think, 3 weeks ago. So this can change very quickly. And I think I was very tired of the pushing the elephant up the hill by myself. And and the other big thing was, oh, wow, my brain just went blank. How's it getting? I don't know what I was going to say.
I can say something else about that. What's interesting is, I always had, at like 23 years old, I got introduced to network marketing. And in network marketing, they implant you with these fantasies about what is possible to make millions and millions and $90,000 a month and all of this stuff, right? Which is only really possible for a small percentage of those people because of lots of different components. But I started to see what was possible. And I always knew that there was this like luxurious, opulent lifestyle that was a pull for me, but what I had always known was not that. It was, Target, Walmart, and the cheapest thing you can, the deals, the cheapest place you can get anything. And after a few years of, really starting to change my life, I started going, well, wait a second, well, exactly what you're talking about. What if I could live a luxurious, opulent, delicious, juicy life now? What could that be like? And what I started to find is that things would start showing up for me, like a personal trainer that would come to my house that was the same price as it would be to go to a gym, or somebody to come to my house to wash my car that was the same price as if I took it somewhere to detail it. My hairdresser now comes to my house, and it's the same price as I went to the one. So it's like all of these sort of luxury. Oh, and I lived in a mansion, this luxurious mansion in California, and it cost me less than if I were to live in California on my own. So it wasn't about the money, and that's when I started going, wait a second, what if I don't have to pay for, like what I thought you have to be rich to have these things. That was my belief.
So that was a lie.
Yeah, total lie. And so what if you just start asking for them and be willing to do things differently?
So did you two actually sit down purposely and write out what you believed about money to start poking at those beliefs to see what were true and what were lies?
Did you, Katherine?
I didn't. What I actually did was I started looking at what I'd like to have, and I would write down, and I've done this I think for like the last 15 years, is I would write down once a year everything I wanted my life to look like. And then like every year I'd review, well, what have I created? What still needs to be added to the list? Does it need to change? And so what I found for me personally was when I focused on what I'd like to have and the energy of what Cory's saying, you choose it now rather than wait, then all of the lies started to disappear.
Cool.
And one of the lies for me personally was that I had to have all the money in my possession in order to have the weekly massages, the trips around the world, staying in fancy hotels, driving really nice cars. I started to receive massive gifts. I mean, I still probably once a month at least get offered a free session from somebody on some modality that is fun for my body.
Nice. Okay, so is this the second lie that I just picked up on? The difference between having it now or choosing it now. So you talked about, Katherine, not having the money right now, or was it Cory? I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed up, but about having the money now to choose the massage or having the money now to choose something. Instead of looking at when you have it, choose it now, and then it begins to show up.
Yeah, for me, it's choosing, and Cory and I both, like, Cory's brilliant at this, so am I. It's choosing to have the energy of what you'd like. So one of the things 12 years ago, after I'd, made my first six figures, I think it was 15 years ago, and then I sort of went down the spiritual path, and I was like, well, I'm going to give up the money in favor of the spirituality. And I went into a broke category, and I was like, okay, I'm broke, but I'd like weekly massages. I created weekly massages without paying for them.
Nice.
So what for me personally, it was, I want to have this. What's it going to take? So it's choosing to have it, not choosing to find the money so then you can justify paying for it.
Nice. So, and the other thing that you ladies had said to me when we did my session was that to add someone to your team, so for all the business owners out there, to add someone to your team that can start to contribute more, and I know you've talked about this on different classes, it's like not everybody, you don't have all the potencies it takes to really build a huge organization, a huge business, and other people can contribute massively. And Cory, you had said, Christine, what if you added someone just 3 hours a week to your business, even if you don't have the money now for someone full time? And since doing that, I've added 2 new people since you said that to me. Right?
Awesome.
Now, I can't say that I'm not still working a lot because I'm having so much fun creating a ton, but it was that invitation that you put out there of, it doesn't have to be the whole enchilada, but if you just start to step into it, what else is possible? Mm-hmm. And just the energy of that got me so excited that day. So I'm wondering if all the listeners out there would be willing to start looking at what the life is they would like to create, they would like to have, and begin choosing it now.
Only you can have the enchilada, Christine. You're the only one allowed. Chimichangas for everybody else.
You ladies
exactly.
So go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, you asked if we had written everything down, and I am so terrible with like homework and doing, like, actually taking the actions. I find myself more an experiential person. Like, I love being in classes. So the way that I chose it wasn't necessarily like going through and writing a ton of stuff, even though I have done that. But the way that I found that I changed the most is actually being in classes, like live, experiencing the live facilitation. So what I did as many classes as I possibly could, and I just didn't let anything stop me. So I was willing to do deals with people to promote them and receive a discount for a class, or be on a promotion team, or work my butt off to be able to, you know, be in a class because I was having it. I was done. And I think that's where people go, they say this, I hear this all the time. Katherine and I both hear this all the time. They say, I'm choosing it. And I'm like, BS, you're not choosing it. Mm-hmm. Because choosing something includes everything that it takes to actually have it actualize in your world. So somebody will say, oh, I'm choosing a new car, or I'm choosing to create my business, or I'm choosing to have this, to be at this class. But there's components that are missing. And one of the components is asking, hey, what action can I take right now? And if that action is to go to your garage and put your stuff on Craigslist so you can sell some stuff to make it to that class, or if that means that you get your butt out to a networking event to meet new people or hire somebody, then you actually choose the actions. You know, saying I'm choosing it doesn't mean anything. And I think that's one of the biggest lies, is that whatever comes out of your mouth doesn't actually mean anything unless you're backing it up with your actions and your energy and your being and your questions and your willingness to never give up.
Yep. I actually coined a word a few months ago. It's called chaction. Choice plus action. We all need some chaction.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, ladies, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to dive further into these lies and what else we can be doing to break them and to really step into magic with money. So you are listening to Inspired Choices Radio on A2Zen.fm with Cory Michelle and Katherine McIntosh, and we will be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
Being visible, being social, being heard. What desires are you ready to create? Would you like to take the next step to creating a potent presence on the web? Would it create more possibilities and expansion in your life? BeingVisible.ca offers website, social media, radio show creation, and more. Creating with consciousness, bringing the energy of you to your audience. Are you ready to connect with your audience clearly, regularly, and with ease? Christine McIver and Carol Glover work with individuals and organizations to create a powerful presence on the web. Personal attention and one-on-one training creates the ease with expanding you. Are you ready? Connect today at BeingVisible.ca.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is A2Zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. night, Magic with Money, Untangling the Lies with Katherine McIntosh and Cory Michelle. And before we went to break, we were talking about saying it without action is really not going to create the change that we desire. And there's a different energy to it. So we've talked about money is hard, which is a lie. We know that. And having the difference between having and choosing. And now about saying it without the energy of action or doing what's required. That's a third one. So what would you say, ladies, is another lie that we get tangled up in that stops us from really being the magic with money?
That's so funny. I had it in my head and it disappeared. I had number 4, but
well, okay, so I can do this one.
Are you sure? No, you can't, Cory.
I mean, yeah, there's so many. It's like, which one do we pick up? I think one of the ones that we've really worked on in our money class that we've been putting on or facilitating is the being worthy and deserving. And once somebody said something in the group, in the Facebook group, and they're like, "Well, I don't feel worthy of," and I was like, "Wow, that's such an interesting thing, being worthy or being deserving." Because, well, what I did when I saw that, I was like, "God, that's such an interesting energy." So I went to the dictionary and I looked it up. Deserving means to be worthy of. Worthy means to be deserving of. It's a trap. You can't get out. And it's all based on someone else's point of view, which usually we're speculating about. Usually it's like a total speculation about what thinks we're deserving of, and then we decide what we're deserving of. But it's usually when you actually ask somebody, well, what would make you deserving of this? They can't even say it. Because it's such a lie in their universe. There's nothing that you can apply it with.
That's so interesting, Cory. To me, it feels like it ties it back to, have you worked hard, then you're deserving of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then how much is hard work? How much work is hard work? You can never quantify it. You can never determine it because there's never enough in worthy and deserving.
That's awesome. I love that.
Well, and it's like worthy and deserving also requires a judgment, right? And when we're judging ourselves, we're limiting how much we can receive.
When we're judging ourselves, we're limiting how much we can receive.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my brain is going spinny on that one.
I know. So, well, like, when you're judging yourself, can you receive a compliment, or do you push the compliment away?
Very good. No, you don't receive it.
Right. And so every like, if we're in the am I deserving, am I worthy, we're literally judging ourselves based on whether we feel like we're deserving or worthy, which is the trap Cory's talking about. And so every moment we're judging ourselves, we're literally limiting what we can receive, which includes money, includes sex, includes relationship, includes advice, includes a gift.
Wow. I would have thought I knew this, but I just think, in fact, I know I just stepped into another level of knowing this.
Exactly. And so it's like we think that we need to have a PhD in money, right? But really it's a PhD in being. So taking off all the lies that we bought so that we can begin to be so we can receive, which we know it cognitively, but when you get it energetically, it's a totally different experience.
You know, I'm having a glass of wine, but I may need to go get the bottle at the next break.
Well, and the best example that I can give of this, which hopefully people can hear, they might not be able to, but it's kind of like trying to have sex to prove you can have an orgasm, but there is no orgasm, versus having sex with an orgasm without any effort. I know that might probably scramble everybody's brain, but if you're trying to have an orgasm, it's definitely harder to have one.
Oh, wow.
If you're in the moment, being in the energy of the possibility, then the orgasm is right around the corner without the effort.
Right.
So I might have just taken us down a totally different conversation or topic, but it's because sometimes when we talk directly about money, it's hard to hear it if that's the thing you're struggling with.
Right. Right. Katherine, do you happen to have a clearing around this?
Well, I would just say, what have you made so vital about using judgment as the stupidity of receiving? Wow.
Everything that is.
Yes. Will you just try and uncreate it, please?
Hell yes.
Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all 9, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And we could twist it into something different, which is, what stupidity are you using to create judgment as the source of receiving?
Wow.
So everything that is times a godzillion. The first one's a little bit more potent for some reason, but everything that is times a godzillion, we just try and uncreate it.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all 9, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
So there's a lot of stuff going on in the chat room right now. People are saying, I need some wine. I'm just opening a bottle. I'm ordering a scotch. Bartender. Not too potent, ladies. So Keisha has a question. She says, is that one of those trying to clear a lie that's not ours things that we go in circles trying to clear, yet it's not ours to begin with? Was just getting a sense of the spin cycle of that one. I like that. She's referring to the worthy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because it actually, the worthy deserving doesn't exist except in someone else's point of view.
So we can't clear that.
No, you can't. No, because it literally, like, I always get visuals for stuff. So I like see this little ball of energy that gets thrown at a child that says, "Why do you think you deserve another ice cream cone?" And, like, that's how it's received, right? But the mother is just like, "Can you give me a break? I'm so exhausted."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you see how, like, even the energy of someone saying, like, you don't deserve something, you're not worthy of something, a lot of times from the point of view of the person, it wasn't even delivered in the way that it was received.
That's really interesting, because if it wasn't delivered in the energy that was received, why are we receiving it that way? Because of the lifetimes of bullshit that we've bought?
Well, possibly.
That's one way. Right? And here's the thing, is what you said, Christine, the because is the justification for the limitation.
Mhm.
Wow.
So because doesn't matter, it's just that we choose it.
Right.
And whether it's like a trillion lifetimes of justifying limitation, so we can all huddle around in our support groups and talk about why we need to justify why we're limited, it, like, the why or the because is simply an invitation to keep the limitation in place.
In place. Yeah, that was another thing you kept kicking my ass on, and I was receiving the ass kicking. Like, what difference does it make?
Right. Piece of this is like, so much of this, I mean, there's so many, some of the stuff we've received from other lifetimes, and the stuff that specifically we receive in this lifetime, where there's say, for example, your mother is telling you something, and then you as a child take it one way, and you build your whole life on that one thing that your mother said when you were 4.5. you function from that decision or that read, so to speak, on the energy, or literally speaking, the words that came out of the person's mouth at an emotional age of 4.5. So then you're 44 and you're functioning as a 4.5-year-old in that particular area.
Wow.
And then we definitely never do that.
No, I mean, this is like the things that get stuck and then they get all intertwined like a rat's nest, right? And then we go to unravel them and it's like, wait a second, when did this show up? 4.5, okay, where did it come from? Oh my gosh, okay, return to sender and pot and pock everywhere. You bought it as real and it had been functioning like it's the way to function.
Yeah, it's so absolutely phenomenal. You know, the what you two have been sharing in this class and the tools and the home play and all the contributions that you're being, it's absolutely amazing how quickly, for me personally, and I know a few other people I'm talking to, how quickly it's starting to unlock it when we really look at it with such clarity that you're providing. And I'm so grateful for the two of you. I'm telling you, like, when I see you two next, get ready for a long hug because you both are being such an amazing invitation, and you're so both so very, very present with every person that's involved and participating. You don't look past it. You see all of what we're doing, and it's so amazing how quickly it's changing. And I mean, I don't even know how long it's been going on for now. 2 months maybe? And I am so different. I can barely remember the limitation that I had 2 months ago. It's funny.
And thanks for saying that, because we're so grateful for you. Because, like, do you get how different it is to go, well, here's some information, and here's a tool that could change, and you go, okay, I'll just go change it. I'll change my limitation. And so here's, like, part of the lie in the deserving worthy trap Cory's talking about is we think that we need to search for the reason why. We need to discover the root of the limitation. And, you know, Cory and I were just in Denver at the advanced body class with the founder of Access, Gary Douglas, and he said it really is about, unfortunately, making a choice. And so thank you, because you keep making choices that change your life. And when you make choices that change your life, the limitation disappears, and then you're like, wait, what limitation? I had a limitation 2 months ago about money? I don't even remember.
It's so true.
And that's a much more fun way to play with creating, having, being the energy of money than it is to get serious and put your glasses on and get out a pen and paper and write about all the shit that's limiting you. Sorry for swearing. Write about all the stuff that's limiting you. It's like if you put pen to paper about what's limiting you, you're going to get more limitations.
Thank you. That's awesome. See?
So put pen to paper on choices and possibility.
Nice.
And watch the limitation disappear.
Wow. That is awesome. Well, I've got to tell everyone something that I chose last week, and I had been buying, you know, Cory, I forget whose show were you on, Lori Larson's, I believe, and I don't know whose show it was, Cory. I've heard you so much, which I'm grateful for. But you were talking about bankruptcy, and you know, and how that we buy into that as a limitation, and how we buy into that this can actually, you know, the shame around all of that. And I've had that with me as well, and I was buying that, you know, I had this energy. I was afraid that somebody would check into my credit rating and that I would get turned down, and I didn't want to go anywhere and ask for something new because I was so afraid they would turn me down and I would feel humiliated. And after my session with the two of you, I'm like, okay, this is not working for me. Like, is this really true? what I've been buying for all these years. And last Wednesday, was it last Wednesday? Yeah, it was last Wednesday. I played hooky from my radio show, went to a friend's, and we were sitting there, chewing on the bullshit of life. And I said, we need chocolate. And we went out to get chocolate, and I bought a car.
Simple change. No big deal. Chocolate, wine, and a brand new car that actually is the color of wine. Perfect combination.
It had to be the color of wine. But it was so amazing. I could feel palpitations when they were checking, when they were doing the check and everything. And it went through so easily, and I walked away, and I'm like, holy shit. Like how much, that's just an example of my life, how many of us are buying it, and it's not true at all. But we keep buying it over and over and over again instead of just asking a question and looking at the possibilities. Or we make these massive assumptions which are sticking us in all the areas of our life. It was just, I'm just so grateful that that I chose it and that I didn't allow it to stop me anymore. I was still nervous. I was still concerned, right? But I didn't let it stop me anymore. And now what else is possible? What's next? A week from today, I'm going to be flying to Barcelona. What else? What else? What else? And I'm just so excited that what you two are offering, and I'm so thrilled to tell everybody that are listening that this class is still available for every single person listening. You can still sign up for this amazing class. And all you need to do is go to livingyourjuicylife.com/money-class. And if maybe the producer can put it in the chat room here so everybody joining us in the chat room can get it. I mean, what is possible in all of the listeners' lives now just from what you're sharing right now in this 1 hour?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And by the way, it's livingyourjuicylife.com/money-class. If they go to living, they're going to get some other site.
Okay. I'm just excited.
livingyourjuicylife.com/money-class.
Thank you for the correction. I appreciate that.
I'm so excited.
Not me. Come on. So we're going to take one more break, and when we come back, we've got something juicy that we're going to share, a couple juicy things we're going to share with all of the listeners, and I would just love for any follow-up that you would want to share with all the listeners, ladies. I would really appreciate it. So you are listening to Katherine McIntosh and Cory Michelle on A2Zen.fm with Inspired Choices. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show.
Managing your emotions is often seen as a hard thing to do. But what if that was a contribution in order to fully awaken who you really are? If you're not achieving your dreams in any area of your life, it's because you are not connecting with the emotions behind those dreams. Not because you can't, but because you haven't been taught how to. To learn how to change all of this, contact the emotional intelligence strategist, Joanne Del Corre. Joanne can be found at www.joannedelcorre.com or email joanne@joannedelcorre.com. Working with Joanne, you'll receive tools and information that will bring you to a place of true, sustained emotional health and happiness for you, your kids, and your family.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is A2Zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Wow, we are in our last segment. How did this go so quickly? I'm here with Katherine McIntosh and Cory Michelle, and we're talking about magic with money and how amazing is this. So before we went to break, we were talking about their lovely, amazing, powerful, potent class, the money class, and you can still get involved in that money class. Maybe you won't because you just really like the limitations around money, and that's okay. I believe Katherine or Cory, I don't know which one of you, had said that you had something you wanted to share with all of our listeners tonight.
Go for it, Cory.
Well, which one are we talking about?
We have more than one?
The big one, or are we talking about what we have to offer them? I guess they're both the big ones because we have two things that could be super fun for people to play with us.
Yeah, and so for all of your listeners, we are gifting those that are on your show the first call on the 10 series of the money class. So we wanted to gift everyone this 90-minute juiciness of over 200 people from all over the world literally diving in to being the demand and being the invitation of changing their money flows. So that's our gift to your listeners.
Wow,
and
thank you.
And the topic, every single call, we're on call number 7. We just did 7 today, so we have 3 more live ones. But the first call, week number 1, was the fantasies and insanities of money. Letting go of all the fantasies and insanities we have about money. It was an amazing call. And if you would like to join us, if you already know you want to be in it, the link is in there. But we have 3 more live calls that people can play with us on. So how cool is that? And, of course, you get all the rest of the recordings and all that stuff.
Yeah, and the clearing loops and the written and it's the most jam-packed class. It's phenomenal. I'm really, really thrilled to be there with you both. Oh, my God. This is just woo! What else? I can't imagine what else. 3 more classes, you guys. Holy. But I will
we have
it. Thank
super juicy stuff in store for the last 3 classes. It just keeps getting, better and better and better.
And how much is it? How much doing this class is actually changing things for the two of you?
For sure.
It's changing a lot. And one of the things that we've both talked about and that I am always aware of, it's when we begin to acknowledge what we're actually really gifted at, then it's an invitation for everyone else to see what their gifts are, to see where their brilliance is that they might not have never even acknowledged.
Mm-hmm. It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Because we keep buying these lies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, and so for me personally, it's seeing how much I've bought that I didn't know anything about money, right? But here, this cute 25-year-old that made her first 6 figures at 25, I still thought I didn't know anything about money. Isn't that cute? Right? Cute. So it is. It's these lies we buy, and so we get to really, just because we're doing a class on money doesn't mean we have it figured out. It means that, we know a lot, and we love to play with what's actually possible.
Mm-hmm. That is so wonderful. I'm so glad the two of you have never allowed the lies to stop you, because look at all the amazing impact you're creating in the world with people. I mean, how many people right now are changing their realities? I know so many people that are just super excited by everything that you're creating because it's giving them the opportunity to change it with them. And it's that ripple effect as well. So for all of us that begin to change it for us, how many other people are we being the invitation to as well? There's so many possibilities. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, some of the stuff we were talking about on today's call. It's when you start to let go of the lies that you have bought into, whether they were yours or whether they were someone else's, and you start being more of you, you become an inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's more money, more of you, just being at ease with, buying a car, like more of you becomes an inspiration, and that's really what starts to change the world.
Absolutely.
So it's much greater. Somebody told us too, they posted in the group, the Facebook group, they said, you guys lied. And we were like, wow, oh my gosh, what did we do? And, because not many people say that to us, said, you lied. This class isn't just about money, it's about having all of me.
Yeah. So true. We have 2 questions. You were spinning them out, now they're coming back with questions. So the first question, can you say more about action and doing versus receiving? And the second one, about time equals money.
Mm-hmm.
Katherine, you want to take one of those?
Yeah, I'll take the first one.
Well, time.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lie that there is no receiving in action, right? Like most of us think, to do we need to cut off being, or to do we need to, like all these things, and actually, so the energy of gift and receive. You can be in action while gifting and receiving.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we've got 3 minutes left. Cory, sorry, I completely missed that one.
Time equals money.
Money, yes.
Well, let's just do simple. Truth, does time equals money? No, it doesn't. She says no. So, okay, cool. So trust that and start asking more questions of, well, how else can I start relating to money? How else can money start showing up? So instead of trying to destroy and uncreate time equals money, you already know that's a lie. What else is beyond that?
Right. So, ladies, you had one more big announcement. I am so friggin' thrilled to hear. Should I do the drum roll? I can't.
Oh, my goodness. Katherine, do you want to say it? You want me to
No,
say
you do it, Cory. You do it.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so Christine invited us to have our own radio show, and we said yes. So we are going to, I don't even know when it's starting. We don't even know the name of it, but what we know is that you soon will hear us on A to Zen, and we're super, 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 super amazingly excited about it.
I am over the moon. I have 3 co-producers. The 4 of us work together. We call ourselves the Witches on the Airwaves, and we had a coven meeting, and it was all about you two, and how excited we were.
Oh, nice.
You two are going to be such an amazing contribution to the station and to all of our listeners, and how much of an impact will this be creating with everyone else that's on the station and all of our listeners. I'm so grateful to have the both of you joining us. Oh my God, this is fantastic. How many people out there are waiting to hear more of Cory and Katherine?
Thank you
I
so much.
wonder.
What else is possible? So if you would like to get in touch with these 2 amazing ladies, they're all over the internet, of course. Cory Michelle's website address is corymichelle.us, and Katherine McIntosh is katherinemcintosh.com. Connect with these ladies. I know you both do one-on-ones. You have different classes, group classes, and, of course, this amazing money class that you're putting on that you've been facilitating. You've got to come and play in this class. I challenge all of my listeners, all of my regular listeners, to not be massively impacted by the contribution of this class. If you are ready to change your reality, I challenge you to come to this class, because I'm telling you, it has changed mine all over the place. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so happy that you are here, and I can't wait to have more of you guys.
Thanks, Christine.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
And we will put... You're welcome. We will put the links to the class that you're offering on the Facebook page. So thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.